Hi, my name is Prakash. I am from Chanakya National University and presently I am an intern at LEXCLIQ. In this video, we're going to talk about major amendments that have been made to the Consumer Protection Act of 2019, and these amendments are mostly made in the light of the current situation of COVID era and how these changes are basically to help people in the time of where the situation of the business market and the situation of a consumer and a seller is not the same, and things have turned mostly from physical to online mode and things like that, and those things are incorporated in the amendments that we're going to discuss in this video. First of all, the first amendment that is extremely important, extremely basic, is that they've changed the definition of customer. This act defines customer as a person who buys any goods or hires/avails any service for a valuable consideration is consumer. Now the point of this definition is to widen the scope of a consumer to both online and offline transaction through any means. Secondly, they've introduced the concept of product liability, in which as a consumer you are liable to be compensated for in cases where you have got a product which is which is defective or and it's not malfunctioning, and that makes it a mandatory responsibility on the part of the manufacturer or the seller to provide you with the compensation. The act in section 2 subsection 9(1) especially defines the right of the consumers, where it has the right to be protected against the marketing of goods, products or services which are hazardous to life and property, the right to be informed about the quality, quantity, potency, purity, standard and price of goods, products or services as the case may be, the right to be assured, the right to be heard, the right to seek redressal, and the right to consumer awareness. So basically it has the act gives us many elaborated and extremely distinguished rights, which if when brought together are effectively compact to make sure that the customer is extremely aware of what they're buying, what they're getting, and in cases where they do not get what they expect, and if there's some kind of a problem, they have the right to go to the consumer to seek redressal, and they have the right to consumer awareness. The fourth amendment that is extremely important that has been brought in these in the Consumer Protection Act is it also includes e-commercial and electronic service providers in the ambit by introducing it in the definition in section 2 subsection 16 subsection 2 and subsection 17 subsection 3, and also the provisions of unfair practices corresponding to e-commerce in section 94 subsection 4. So basically it is brought the different kind of sections to protect consumers and make the sellers aware, because in COVID era mostly everything has been turned into an online transaction, and this includes that entire platform into the definition of service providers in the act, hence giving extremely different and extremely new forum, which is very essential in the present era. Now, the previous Consumer Act introduced the national, state and district redressal forums. This act now further introduces the establishment of Central Consumer Protection Authority and state and district regulatory authorities which impose penalties, protect consumer rights, and provide refunds, etc. Now the establishment of CCPA is something that has been brought now to seek redressal in cases of default service and a manufactured product. This act has also penalized a characteristic element of consumer market, that is misleading, false advertisements, and broadly describe the ambit of misleading advertisements to cover all type of unfair practices. As we know, as I just said, that everything is now online, and now the advertisements have the scope of advertisements and the usage of online platform for advertisement has increased hence. And this new amendment brings in the penalty for somebody, for committing the offense of false advertisement and misleading their customers, hence giving the customers the right to seek redressal in such cases. And lastly, the act has enhanced the jurisdiction of consumer dispute redressal commissions at each level, with district commissions being able to handle a case for a value under 1 crore, state commission till 10 crore, and national commission to entertain all the matters beyond 10 crores. So it has increased the ambit. It's very self-explanatory in this manner. So if you want any other information about the amendments, you can read up the new amendments that have been brought into the Consumer Protection Act. Thank you.